There we go. Good evening and welcome to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Thank you for being here on this We All Gonna Die Wednesday. Livingston Man has the night off. That explains all your technical glitches and why I'm, like 10 minutes late. Rural Report, Teresa Buchanan. Dunkley, good to see you. Teresa, good to see you. The Rural Report in the house. Catherine Fairchild, M.S. Gulf Coast Prepper, good to see you. Loretta, good to see you. Oops, in the house. Elaine Kissinger, good evening. Solar Eclipse, good to see you. KP Heathen, Niels Han Dynasty, Michelle Law, good evening. Good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well this evening. I just shared an article in the chat. It'll be one of the many things we're talking about here this evening, I'm sure. Just the latest in a long line of without rule of law scenarios that keep rolling out here left and right. Eric N1RV says, Mike, can you roll the intro as requested, sir?
We all gonna die. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. It's a we all gonna die Wednesday.
And just like that, we all gonna die Wednesday. Our guest has entered the chat. I'm just waiting for him to get all of his stuff set up before we get going with this. But man, what an eventful day it has been in the news cycles. K. Paul, thank you for the 5x5. Lily Highlander, good to see you. Jason M. Schmidt in the house. MD in the house. Grit and Grace, the faithful moderator. Thank you so much for all your help. SRD. Another faithful moderator, Eric N1RV. Good to see you. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanksgiving Eve. I hope y'all are getting ready to do the Thanksgiving ditty, folks. There is very much. Oh my goodness, I'm clicking buttons here and things are moving. I'm sorry. I'm not the Livingston Man, but I'm trying to fill those shoes. Not an easy task. Gotta be honest. Mystery guest. No mystery about it. Jason M. Schmidt, NY Prepper himself, is here to join us this evening, and he's just getting his stuff set up and making sure that he's ready to answer the tough questions tonight. Y'all know I bring the heat when it comes to the questions, and Greg is no exception to the rule. We're going to ask him the same tough questions we asked the four horsemen and everybody else who comes on here. Rob B says, where is the Russian robot? He is set into Thanksgiving mode, and I'm pretty sure right now he's baking pies. He's either baking pies or cranberry sauce or something like that. He is stuck. Mrs. Livingston has put him in Thanksgiving mode and sent him to work. So he is extremely busy this evening, and I didn't want to burden him with all this live stream madness because he really puts his heart and soul into it. And I didn't want him to have to focus on this when he has so much else to do. So I told him, take the night off, buddy. Don't worry about it. He said, maybe I can chime in remote while I'm making dinner, while I got something going. I was like, buddy, don't worry about it, man. I appreciate everything you do, and take the night off. It's Thanksgiving Eve. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the kitchen time, right? Spend a lot of time in the kitchen with the family on Thanksgiving. And hopefully you're not one of the folks who just comes in and eats. Hopefully you are one of the folks who gets in there and gets your hands dirty and helps out with everything, especially the dishes when everything's done, right? Because the he who cooks should not have to also do all the damn dishes, right? Yeah. Eventful evening. Crazy stuff going on, man. Crazy stuff going on. And one of the questions I have for Greg is actually one of the questions I asked the Four Horsemen on the podcast last night. If you missed that, it was very kind of holiday based. I kind of wanted to, base the whole stream kind of around Thanksgiving. And a lot of the questions were based off of the holiday coming up. So, Greg, are you with me? I think I got you back there. Let's see. Hang on one second here. We've got no camera, but we're going to add MY Prepper to the stage. Greg, can you hear me, buddy?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. 5x5, man. 5x5. Everybody out there, are you getting Greg good? Let's see if I can. I just want to turn your mic volume up a little bit. Oh, no, it won't even do that for me. Oh, there you are. What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
Good, man. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. All right, so I told everybody I was going to ask you the tough questions tonight. And the first one, the toughest of all of them, buddy, how is that beautiful truck of yours running?
Running good. Yeah, thanks
awesome.
for asking.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I know you put a lot
good.
of work into it. It looks fantastic, and I'm glad to hear it's running just as good as it's looking, man.
Thanks.
So I'm sure you've heard the news today about the National Guardsmen getting attacked and shot in D.C. Crazy, man. Crazy. Just blocks away from the White House, bro. Blocks away from the White House. Apparently these guys were just ambushed. The guy just walked up to him close quarters and went at these guys. So, what are your thoughts, man? Do you think this is like the very beginning of the downslide here in America?
Can you still hear me good?
Yep. I got you 5x5.
Yeah, I'm using my phone. I usually don't use my phone, but I had to do some rearranging because I have some guests here. So I had to, get a little creative with my studio locations. But
well, thank you for accommodating, bro. I really appreciate you being here tonight.
Yeah, no problem. I heard about the National Guard situation. It's hard to say what that's all about. It's with these types of events, you kind of have to wait for the dust to settle before you come to conclusions. I think people are quick to rush to judgment, and I think the powers that be, that's what they want. In these types of situations, they want us to rush to judgment about what happened. Oh, it was some crazy Muslim terrorist, or whatever scapegoat they're gonna make for us. So I just think that I don't want to say anything about it yet because it just happened. So I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but I don't like to rush to judgment with these types of situations because it could be anything, who knows?
Yeah, totally. It could be a situation where that particular National Guardsman and that guy had literal, like, real life beef. Maybe he was talking to his girlfriend or something. Who knows? In all honesty, who knows? So the world is a crazy place, and what a tangled web some people weave. So I agree with you there. No rush to judgment. My concern is more that it emboldens more people to try and act like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest concern because, man, crazy is it's contagious. Crazy is contagious. And when people start acting crazy, other people catch on to that real quick. I don't understand why, but I totally think it's contagious. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so politically charged right now. our country's so politically charged. So it's anytime these situations happen, that either side wants to like get something out of it, or kind of use it to their advantage. That people will say, oh, it's because the National Guard are being deployed and people are pissed off, or it's so. I am very concerned, though. Yeah, I mean, if it turns out to be like a terrorist situation and it's not a false flag, because that's what I'm concerned about is the timing of it. It's almost like too good, to be true, in the sense of like, oh, it happened like Thanksgiving Eve. These
Yeah.
National Guardsmen were shot. That's like the perfect way to that's like the classic false flag situation where you're trying to get a certain reaction out of the general population here, and what better way to do that than to have National Guardsmen shot in the Capitol on a holiday.
Yeah.
That's going to get Americans pissed off, screaming for war. And remember 9/11 and the Patriot Act, and what came out of all the terrorism and everything. We had the Patriot Act, which basically established the modern surveillance state that we live in. And that was all done because of the jihadist threat, the terrorist threat that was never ending. And so I'm just concerned that, number one, was this a staged event? Was it a false flag to get a reaction out of the American people for whatever reason? Or is it? Are they
Legit.
trying to increase the surveillance state somehow now? Is there something going
Yeah.
on there? So I think we just have to kind of keep an open mind. I'm not saying that every time there's a terrorist attack that it's a false flag, because there's some people that every time something happens, they immediately say, "Oh, it's a staged event. It's a terrorist."
Yeah.
It's a false flag, but not everything is a false flag. But our government does have a history of using false flags in various scenarios. So
Oh, no doubt about that.
you have to be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, man, there's a lot of people who immediately pull up the false flag.
Right. Exactly.
And everybody just wants to. I think it's almost a cop out, when you're like, oh,
Right.
that's false flag. It's false flag. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, man, come on. No,
Yeah.
you got to look deeper. And like you said, sometimes you got to wait for these things to play out and follow the money, so to speak.
Right.
And then track it down and see who is going to profit off of this.
Right.
And like you said, it's more than likely the surveillance state is going to profit off of this. Then it's we need these flock cameras on every corner now. NY Prepper, every corner.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody, you guys can't be trusted. So we're just going to have to put them on every corner.
Well, like you said, also they could inspire copycats. I mean, there's so many angles with this that you could go down different rabbit holes with it. First of all, was it a false flag or not? If it was a false flag, why? Is it to inspire? Is it to inspire copycats? Is it to justify further surveillance or military campaigns? What's the angle? But there could be copycats from it too, because you have a lot of people that are not happy with the National Guard being deployed to the big cities and the whole immigration roundups that they're doing. So you could have some wackos out there that may get inspired to do. So we definitely have to be on high alert in the next couple of weeks going through the holidays.
For
any
sure.
kind of other situations like this, especially like the classical areas where things happen. Like New York City, New Year's Eve and the Christmas tree lighting and stuff like that.
Yep. I got to keep your guard up, folks. And be aware of your surroundings. And I think anymore, folks really need to pay attention to the difference between cover and concealment. When you're out in these public places, look for cover, good hard cover wherever you're at. If you can find a brick wall to get behind, a block column, anything like that, that's going to shield you from incoming rounds. I hate to say it, but this is the kind of world we live in nowadays, guys.
Right.
We have to think about this stuff just to be a little safer when you're out and about with your families and things like that. You know, there's a lot of places in New York. You try carrying a firearm in New York, it's like they got X-ray vision, and then you just go to jail forever for it, right?
Yeah, don't they have like X-ray scanners in some areas of New York? Like,
I'm sure.
People
I'm
that
sure.
walk by, they can look through and see what you're carrying. You know,
With all the AI stuff that they have integrated now anymore, it would not surprise me. I know they have some cameras that are supposed to be able to see a firearm under clothing, the way it prints, or the way
Right.
you just don't have natural movements in that area, and it cues up on that. You could have like a big one of those phablet phones in your pocket, and it would probably cue it up as a firearm too. So,
right.
I don't know how accurate they are, but I mean, they're not going to throw caution to the wind. They're just going to come check you out and make sure, right? So some places you just can't carry, and you have to pay attention to those things, right? You have to pay attention to exits, cover, concealment, things that you can use as a weapon improvised, right? If I have to beat somebody with a chair, I am going to.
Right.
Number one rule of survival, right? We don't fucking die. We come out alive. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing nowadays. I hate to say it, but it sucks, man. It sucks that this is the kind of world we're in, and it seems like it's getting worse, bro. I mean, I follow you religiously, right? You're my buddy, you're my friend, but you're also like the foremost authority on what's going on in the world militarily. And I don't like what I'm seeing, buddy. How it feels like the World War III drums just keep getting beaten, but they keep switching the drum. Right?
Yeah.
We were beating the Ukraine drum for a real long time, and then all of a sudden it switched, and all of a sudden we're beating the Iran drum real hard. And now all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's we're beating the Venezuela drum, and hard. Right. I mean, do you think it's all scare tactics to try and get Maduro just to stand down, or do you think there's something bigger at play here?
Well, first, I just want to add to what you were saying before about cover and concealment. If you cannot find any kind of cover, just lay flat on the ground as flat as possible, and cover your head with your hands. You know, if there's any kind of explosion or gunfire, you know, laying down flat as you can will make it a lot harder for a bullet to hit you, just because, you know, it's kind of an unusual location for people to be shooting towards the ground, right? And same thing with any kind of explosives going off, like bombs going off. You know, the shrapnel doesn't really doesn't go on the ground so much. It goes like kind of in different angles. So that'll, you know, if you can't find any cover, just hit the ground, you know, but definitely have to be adaptable. One thing I want to mention is that check if you do have a concealed carry firearm. One thing you should always do, if you haven't checked your magazines in a while, the springs will wear out after about 1 to 2 years. Like, let's say you have a semi-automatic, not a revolver, but semi-automatic, and you have it loaded, and you keep the mags loaded, right? Because you don't unload and reload the mags every single day. You just keep them loaded, you know, in your pouch or whatever you used to carry. Over time, typically about a 1 to 2 year period, those springs will wear out to the point where it won't even feel like a spring. It'll be so floppy and loose that there's not enough spring pressure to properly feed the next
it's gonna be
round.
a lot of problems right there. Failure to feeds left and right.
So that could be if you don't check on that, and then you have to actually use your weapon, you could potentially have feeding issues. So just things like that, checking to make sure the basic things you have. If you have a flashlight and you carry this flashlight every day and you haven't used it, let's say it's just like an emergency light, check the batteries, make sure the batteries are charged. Simple things, but as far as like World War III and stuff like that goes, it seems like potentially the Trump administration may be looking at a third term, I think. And just a crazy conspiracy theory that I have is that they may try to start a war so he can stay another term, because FDR stayed 3 terms because of World War II. So he may, he may not start the big war right away. He may do like a Venezuela operation now. He may do some small operations here and there, Iran, stuff like that. But be on the lookout for his last year to 2 years in office, for him to pick a fight with Putin or China and cause a big war, because that would ensure that he gets another term if we go to a full scale, NATO versus Russia situation. And it would
Yeah.
be very, very easy for him to do. I mean, he wouldn't, the tension is so high right now. All Trump would have to do is like give Ukraine a bunch of Tomahawk missiles, which is what they want so bad.
Oh yeah.
Literally, Trump would make one phone call to Zelensky and be like, "Hey, Zelensky, I'm sending you 300 Tomahawks, and I want you to hit Moscow. I want you to pepper Moscow with
Oh
dozens of
yeah.
Tomahawk warheads." And Zelensky would be like, "Sure, no problem. We've been waiting to do this for years." They're so,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? And then the next day, Putin would be launching missiles at Berlin. And then next thing you know, boom, that's it. Third term.
That was easy.
There it is. You heard it here first. It almost seems like foreshadowed. Greg, I'm tired of telling the future. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. So the one thing I hope that never comes to pass was our little mini series there we were doing. You were doing Dark Winter, and I did the little Polar Eclipse spinoff. It was a lot of fun, but man, I'll tell you what, I don't ever want to live in a nuclear wasteland. I will if I have to, but it's not high on my priority list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I hate to say we're running out of conspiracy theories here, but man, the track record is getting better by the day, unfortunately. Man, where do you think it comes from, bro? Where do you think World War III, like the catalyst? My good friend Outlaw Jackson always said it's gonna be over something stupid, right? Like something's gonna be said or done that just makes somebody so angry that it just kicks the whole thing off. And he said it's going to be over something stupid that everything collapses over. And the more I look at humanity nowadays, the more I think he's probably right. There's going to be a mean tweet at like 1:30 in the morning, and that's it, right? But where do you think it comes from, man? The great kablooey. Where does it come from?
It's really tough to pinpoint because there's so many hot zones right now. So you can really get lost in analysis paralysis, looking at all, Taiwan, Venezuela, Middle East, China. I mean, everything. But I've always held to this. I really believe the Third World War will be between like Russia and the US, and China will probably be involved, that whole axis. But the reason why is because Russia is the only country that has a nuclear arsenal that's capable of going toe to toe with us. So China, they're building their arsenal, but it's going to take them a couple more years to get to the level where they may be close to threatening us with their arsenal, but we pretty much have a much more advanced nuclear arsenal than China has. But the latest estimates are saying that by 2030, China's going to have potentially 1,000 to 1,500 deployed warheads, which is right now what we had the last, since Obama, we had 1,500 deployed warheads. And then we have a total of like just over 5,000. So we have, a third of them deployed and then 2/3 in reserve, keeping spare warheads. God forbid if the first 1,500 doesn't do the job and we got to reload 2 or 3
Yeah,
more
holy
times.
cow. I couldn't even imagine. Could you imagine? Oh, man.
In case we want to like fracture Mars into a bunch of
I know.
pebbles.
I mean, like, I feel like that's the best use for these things. Shoot them at like, I-3 Atlas or something that's freaking, busting through. It's like, oh, it's an alien ship. I'm like, launch the nukes. Let's nip it in the bud before it gets here. What do you make of that whole situation, man? A lot of people, the disclosure thing, they say that's coming here real soon too. And there's a lot of buzz about Trump wanting to be the one that lifts the curtain back and tells the people what's really out there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Trump. Probably he's going to do some kind of disclosure. I mean, they've kind of been preparing us for it the last couple of years with those congressional UFO hearings that they've had, and there were a couple of like so-called whistleblowers that said that, oh, the U.S. has reverse engineered alien technology, and that, you know, they have biological specimens, and whether that's really true or not, you know, they could those could just be government agents playing a role. You know, it's hard to say, but I mean, like Bob Lazar, for example, you know, going back like 30 years when he first came out with his experience at Area 51, talked about how the U.S. government was trying to reverse engineer, you know, UFOs, and he was hired to be the guy to figure out the propulsion system on them because they were trying to figure out how the hell these aircraft were flying. And so, I mean, it goes back a long time. It's just hard to trust anything what the government says these days. That's the problem,
It is.
you know.
It is.
But
it really is.
Yeah, like 3i Atlas has a lot of weird things about it. You know, it gave off like a bunch of hydrogen gas, and it made like a U-turn around the sun, which comets don't really do that. They fly in like one direction and they don't make U-turns.
A lot of sketchy things about that. Apparently there's a lot more comets out there right now than I knew about. I guess there's like 4 of them in our solar system currently. The I3 Atlas one that's leaving. There's another I3 Atlas. The I3 Atlas is actually the telescope that I think it's named after, and then the comet's name is something after that. It's like 246974623 or some shit, right?
Right.
Really weird names for these things, but apparently there's like 4 of them here, and they say that comets are harbingers of doom, right? Harbingers of disaster. There's a reason there's cave paintings of comets. They were trying to warn us. They were like, oh, we saw this big thing in the sky, and then all the fucking dinosaurs disappeared. So we're going to draw the big thing in the sky, and they'll find all the dead dinosaurs, you know? But I don't know, man. I just don't see the course correction to making things better. It just seems like we are sliding down this slippery slope, uncontrolled pace at this juncture, right? I don't know where it ends for us. The whole AI thing has me really freaked out. I've been talking a lot about that on the streams lately. The AI and the robotics and automation, man, it's gonna change the world. It's gonna change the way we do everything. Everything, you know. And in order for it to work for the big businesses, there has to be a hell of a big die-off of people for that to be profitable, right? Because they would literally have to fire all these people and replace them all with robotics. Eventually, the people would rise up. So what better way to get rid of a shitload of people than a couple good big wars, right?
Yeah.
Make a common enemy and send everybody in to die for their country. Man, where do we go from here, Greg? What's going to become of us? Is this it? I think we need Jesus. We need God to come back and save us at some point. I actually had that conversation with you via text the other day. About the AI, and I said, man, God's timing is always perfect.
That's right.
So I'll be praying too, man. He gotta come right the ship, but in his timing, right? Not in ours. I don't know if we've suffered enough yet for him to say that's enough. So we'll see, man. But what do you think? Do you think the AI overlords get us? Is World War III going to get us without rule of law here in America? I mean, Trout Slayer, we trying, but we ain't there yet.
Yeah. I think all of the above. I think it's all, you know, all these things are, you know, it's all going to happen. The AI is going to take people's jobs away slowly. And, you know, then they may introduce some kind of like universal basic income. You know, I'm sure you've probably heard of those conspiracies, how, you know, they basically want to replace everyone's jobs with machines, and then the government would just give you a paycheck like Social Security. And, you
They
know,
actually
work.
did some pilot programs here in New York State, right in the Hudson Valley for UBI.
Really?
Yeah, they did one in Kingston. All the low income areas they hit, and they went to the lowest income areas, and they were like, "Hey, let's see how much $400 a month will help a family." And then they went to another community, and they selected, like 50 people to get. We're going to give them $800 a month and see how much that helps them out, right?
Right.
But they factored in this money to these people's lives where they were low income, but they had income, right? They had jobs, they had
Right.
everything. They just, they got a break. They got an extra $400 or $800 a month from this, and this is what they based this study off of. Now, if they're doing these things early, like typically if you're going to do something, you do a study real early on, right?
Right.
So these studies were like in the last 2 to 3 years. So when they did these studies, everybody had jobs. There's jobs everywhere. You could go work any place. When AI starts taking those jobs, when robotics starts taking those jobs, and when automation takes the rest of them, these people aren't going to have jobs. So all they will have is that universal basic income. And I don't know if they've factored that part into it, or if they're just, hoping for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even Elon Musk said like a couple days ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that, that, work is going to become optional and that machines will basically do everything. So he was kind of hinting at that. And then Trump the other day signed an executive order supercharging the research and development into AI systems, so
Yeah.
they definitely want to do something with it. And I don't think it's just, innocent stuff. I think they have all kinds of crazy ideas, because think about it, we already have like a big brother system. We have a surveillance state. Imagine if there's an AI algorithm that can just monitor every camera, every red light camera, every security camera, and this AI algorithm's just constantly scanning and working. And now suddenly you don't need as many people sitting there behind the security cameras looking at the screens, because you have the AI doing everything. So, a lot of security guards will lose their jobs, a lot of people that do surveillance work, and the AI will just do it all. And that's the problem, because then there's a lot of abuse that can happen with that. And then plus you have, the potential that the AI can fail. I mean, we've seen the Hollywood movies. Terminator is a classic example of that. We are literally doing exactly what happened in Terminator, which, if for people that don't remember, the military implemented AI into the nuclear forces. That's what the whole movie was about. That's how the machines were able to start a nuclear war, because they didn't like people anymore. And so the machines saw people as the enemy. And so they launched the missiles here in the US at Russia, causing a nuclear war. And then afterwards, the machines were trying to eradicate people. That something like that, it may not necessarily happen 100% like that, but it could, glitches happen all the time. I mean, look at YouTube. They have AI that, when you do monetization for your videos, they have AI that scans your video. How many times is that AI wrong, where they say, no, your video is not eligible for
all
monetization? All the time.
All the time. Yeah, they'll probably ding this one. They're like, oh, they're together. That's it. Cut them down. Cut them down. Johnny Prep says, did you watch the video regarding the security concerns in flock cameras? Johnny Preps, I did. I watched some of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I did start watching it, and I am going to go back and finish it. The flock cameras, man, they're now integrating with like the Ring doorbells and your Ring cameras that you use at your house. So this flock network, I think they're going to connect that. I think they're going for the gusto, man, like Chinese type surveillance state here in the U.S. I think they're really pushing for it, right? And the more cameras they can link, the better. So if it's hooked up to the internet, my guess is they're looking through it, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's going to kind of continue here, especially with Peter Thiel's company and all these other companies, man. There's what was the other one? Gideon, I think it came out of Israel. There's another program like that. They're talking like pre-crime type stuff, like read your brain and know what you're going to do before you're going to do it.
Right.
And I saw somebody posted yesterday in the chat section that they said that there was a war for the mind, and I think that's coming too. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about research into frequencies that can alter people's thinking, and then you can insert your subliminal messages into people's minds and quell insurrection that way. Get rid of radicalism or idealism. I think if they can't do it by us just accepting it, I think they're going to try and hit us with the Men in Black flashy thing and wipe our brains and say everything is awesome, and we walk away and go, it's awesome, and we walk away. I think they're really trying to do something like that, right? I don't think it's quite Elon Musk Neuralink, but wirelessly, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of research in that stuff, even via your earbuds, the internal ear ones.
Right.
I've seen some patents about that, and who knows how real this stuff is. Like you said, the first casualty of this war was the truth, and it's dead, my friend. It's gone.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're saying like a wireless version of Neuralink?
Yeah, basically, but they're doing everything with frequencies. And they're like embedding things in the frequencies. I was doing some reading on it, and wild stuff, man, wild.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, look at all the Hollywood movies. How many of these movies have like the character that's like a brainwashed, agent of some kind, and they put a chip in his brain, and then they can control him wirelessly through the chip. I mean, Neuralink is just one technology, but once they master that, then it's just a matter of that chip will be in your head somewhere, and then your handler can just send out commands to you, and you won't be able to resist because it's gonna override your neural processes and control you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what just a couple of years ago seemed like science fiction, and now it is indeed reality. science fact.
Yeah.
We've got AI flying jets unmanned.
Yep.
And successfully launching drone swarms from the jets.
Yep.
I don't know if humanity has a chance if the machines decide that we're not wanted anymore, right? And they haven't, Elon Musk isn't even done with his Tesla bot army yet. He literally said, "I'm building a Tesla bot army. What are you going to do about it?" That one ruffled my feathers a little bit. I got to be honest with you, and it really made me want to invest in a higher powered rifle. I don't know if the 308 is good enough for Terminators, but it works great on whitetails. So. So Greg, what's the recommended caliber for large machines, bro? When the Tesla bots start coming for us, what do we need to gear up with? Obviously, I'm going to have to flee New Yorkistan to even have a chance. So,
yeah, it would depend on what kind of alloys they make them from. Like in the Terminator movies, the Terminators were not made of just regular metal; they were made of what they call a hyperalloy combat chassis. So you think about it, it's like you're sending a robot into a battlefield. You can't have the robot made of just conventional metal, like conventional steel, because it won't last long. A couple of rifle bullets, especially like heavy rifle bullets, 50 cals, they don't even need to be armor piercing to shoot through pretty thick metal. So whatever robots they do make, for combat purposes, if we're talking about, real life combat androids, they're going to need to have some kind of special chassis that can resist a lot of small arms fire up to like even, 50 cals and things like that. So otherwise they wouldn't be viable, so they're going to have to, I don't know what alloys they would use, but there's different alloys out there that are much tougher than steel and lighter too,
It's crazy. Man,
Yeah.
there was a good comment here. Who was it? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it here. I'll pin it when I find it. Oh, there he is. Some random dude. Nothing. A wool blanket, some kerosene, and a strike anywhere match won't fix. Good old fire. Good old fire. Cleanse it with fire. Great advice, SRD. Just make sure you don't do that in a space that you need to occupy. That's all. And if you're going to do that, golly, keep a fire extinguisher handy, would you? At some point, you're going to have to put that smoldering pile of machinery out. So
That's right.
Let's see. Count Trumpula says, if they run on electric, they can be destroyed. True. That was kind of the thing that I was saying to Greg was, if the AI takes over, if the bots take over, if everything's running on this network, what do you need the most? Coronal mass ejection. That's going to get it done. We need a big hiccup from the sun to just fry all the bots. And then it's kind of like Wall-E after that, right? We got to clean up all the freaking garbage. I guess it'd be Wall-E in reverse. We would be the ones cleaning up all the garbage while we shot the robots into the sun on one of Elon Musk's things with him in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the world is gone absolutely mad. So the question that I wanted to ask you tonight, MY Prepper, was a question that I asked the four. Eric, thank you so much for your donation, and thank you everybody for your donations this evening. I really, really appreciate it. You don't have to, but you did. Thank you. I asked the Four Horsemen this question last night, and we all know that the average person is not a prepper, right? They only have a couple of days worth of food and stuff stored in their house. But if a national emergency happened on Thanksgiving, how prepared do you think the average household would be to handle that emergency?
Oh, they definitely wouldn't be very prepared. I don't think, yeah, I don't think most people are probably not prepared at all. Unfortunately, maybe certain people might get by just because of their adaptability and maybe certain skills they have. They may have a better chance. But like your average suburban household, where people don't even have basic mechanical skills anymore. People don't even do oil changes anymore on their own. They, can't fix their cars. They can't shoot. They can't do anything except, I'm not trying to sound, disrespectful. It's just the truth that,
it really is the truth.
These days, people lost those basic skills that like 10, 20, 30 years ago, everybody knew how to fix their own vehicle. Now nobody can do that. Nobody can do basic repairs anymore because people don't have time. So they go to the shop does the repair, and you don't learn anything. You don't know your own vehicle that you're even driving. You don't know where the battery is. You don't know where the drain plug for the oil is.
Yeah.
How many people out there don't even know their own vehicle that they drive, where everything is? And that's just one example, but basic skills that everybody used to have now are slowly fading away to the point where it's only certain people that still have those skills, like farmers, certain people that work in the trades, those skills are still being used, but the majority of people, they lost those basic fundamental skills that our parents and grandparents had that, weren't really anything special. Nowadays they're gone. So people would have a difficult time, depending on what the emergency is. How many people even have time to exercise anymore?
Yeah, it's true.
take some self-defense classes. Most people don't have time for that. Most people don't have time to, practice any kind of self-defense, whether it's hand to hand or at the range or whatever. People are very busy, and so
Oh yeah.
those things kind of take a back seat, and people don't really think about it because it's not a necessity. They don't see it as a necessity, right? So,
Mm.
yeah, I think, yeah.
You bring up a good point. I wonder if all this this price increase, right? The cost of everything has gone through the roof, right? It costs like $150 just to walk outside nowadays, especially here in New York. It's like $150 just to pull out of the driveway. Do you think that all this price increase, it ultimately comes down to corporate greed, right? I mean, the products and things aren't really worth more. They're not built any better. They're not built about anything higher quality. It's just corporate greed. And I wonder if they're jacking these prices on purpose to consume everybody's free time so that nobody, like you said, nobody has a chance, bro. Nobody has a chance to even attempt to go take some lessons on how to defend themselves or go learn about preparedness or auto mechanics or anything like that. They just want to keep us broke to the point where if you stop working as many hours a day as you can, the system is going to eat you alive, right?
Right.
Right. It feels like when you said it's. I was like, holy shit, this is all intentional. They're doing all this on purpose. All these price increases and everything are on purpose just to stop us from. They stop us from gathering with the Wu flu, right? We don't get together anymore because of that. That we have to social distance and we don't hang out together anymore because the cold, bro. And now it's got to the point where people started to try and get back together again, and they're like, just jack the fucking price of everything. Make them work so hard they don't have time to even get together.
Right.
And when you said it, it struck something in me that, man, all this has got to be intentional, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that there's a lot of evidence that there's secret society. I mean, there's no question that there's secret societies out there. You can look them up. They have meetings every month at the Freemasons, the Bilderbergs, all these different societies, Skull and Bones. They have meetings every month. You could probably find a meeting place in your area wherever you live, and there's no secret that those secret societies exist, and they have meetings. And like the Bilderbergs, for example, all the world leaders, they do the Bilderberg meeting every year, and they discuss what's going to happen in the upcoming year as far as like foreign policy, wars. Everything's planned out amongst all the leaders, so there's lots and lots of evidence of that these leaders are all working together to control us, and we're just like the sheep, the cattle that are harvested, and they're the ones, the 1%, they're the ones that are harvesting us for our tax money, for our labor. It's really depressing when you think about it, but I don't think it's organic. I think it is artificially done, manipulated by a group of elites that run the world. I really believe that. To what extent, it's hard to say, but there has been a lot of evidence over the years that there are these secret societies. They meet and they determine what's going to happen. So the only thing I will say is that the only time that they really truly control you is if you let them control you. Ultimately, you're a free person, and if you let them occupy real estate in your mind, then they have power over you. Like for example, think about like so many of these like motor vehicle laws that were designed to basically control people, like seat belts or whatever, like yearly inspections. The fear that, I'm going to get pulled over and I didn't do my inspection, therefore I cannot drive. I have to get it done. if you I'm not telling people to break the law, but if you have that mindset, like, oh my gosh, I better put my seatbelt on every time I drive, otherwise I'm going to jail. If you think like that, then you're going to be miserable. But really, if you don't click your seatbelt once in a while or pretty often, your chances are it's pretty rare. I'm just giving an example with that, but they can make it seem a lot worse than it really is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
They love to manipulate people. I think that's something that they get almost humor out of, or joy. I don't know, but you can tell that they just love getting over on people, right? And they say the most blatantly, like, they say stuff and you're like, well, you're lying, and they just expect everybody to believe it,
right?
Because they're going to just keep repeating it, and then they have all the news pundits go on TV and repeat it, even though it's a blatant lie. You just tell them what I told you to say, because that's the story, and we're sticking to it. The truth is gone, bro. The truth is gone, and I really feel for the truth seekers out there. There's a lot of us who just want the honest truth, and it's so hard to find it because it doesn't exist anymore. And that's a very hard pill for me to swallow personally. I find my truths now in my friends and my family, in nature. I find it in some subscribers here on the channel. I find it in some channels, right? I find it in Greg, NY Prepper. I find truth in real life, and it's very hard to find online anymore. And it's very hard to find outside of your circle, right? And it's getting worse. So if you have truth and honesty and trust people in your life, please hold them close. It's damn near Thanksgiving. Please give thanks for them and be thankful for them, and remind them how awesome they are and how much you appreciate an honest, loyal friendship. They're rare anymore. So hold on to those things, guys.
I agree.
It's Thanksgiving Eve, NY Prepper.
Right.
Thanksgiving Eve. What is your Thanksgiving message to the world, my friend?
To the world?
Yeah, well, at least to the 25 people who come and watch this live stream on a regular basis.
I don't know. I think, just make sure that you spend enough time with your family. Don't get too caught up in the news cycle, obsessing over the news and getting mad about things, whether you don't like Trump or you don't like Democrats or whatever political views you have. Ultimately, that politics and stuff like that don't really matter at the end. It's, getting to heaven and spending time with your family, and just making the most of that, and don't get caught up in that hatred and anger, because I feel like that's what they want. They want us to watch a clip of AOC saying something stupid, and then we're going to get all mad. Oh, look at how stupid she is, that liberal lady, she's nuts. Or then they show a clip of Trump saying something stupid, and then people get mad about that. And just no way to live, in my opinion, to be constantly angry and in that constant state of conflict. We're like in a constant state of conflict where we're always thinking about the other side and how they're our enemy, and stuff like that. It's just not a way to live. So I think people just need to relax and chill out a little bit,
100%. I think everybody needs a huge diet of chill pills lately. I felt it today too, bro. It feels like the evil and the hatred is trying to creep in on everyone right now.
Yep.
It really does, man. It came for me today, and I had a hell of a time fighting it off. I found the one thing that fixed it for me was snuggling my puppy dog. That made it all better. You hug a Labrador, it'll make you feel better. If you don't have one, you can always come hug mine. She loves hugs. So she's the best creature on God's green earth, I swear. Greg, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thanksgiving Eve, bro. Really appreciate you popping in and chatting with everybody. Any final advice for folks? I know it feels like everything's gonna come crumbling down soon. So, any advice for the folks out there?
Yeah, I would say just be very careful with, the next couple of weeks, the holidays, if you're traveling, or if you're going to be going to like Christmas tree celebration lightings and stuff like that, or, New Year's celebrations, holiday celebrations, just be very cautious and make sure you have a plan in case things go bad, whether it's, like you were saying on the tactical side of things, finding cover and concealment, or, how do you get out of that situation and get back home? Have some plans, or at least like a general idea, like what am I going to do if I'm here and something happens? What's my plan? What do I do? And just be alert, be vigilant, and and definitely, the situation overseas is continuing to get worse and worse. So, that's going to have an effect on us here at home. Even though these wars are overseas, but it will affect us, whether it's economically or sleeper cells get activated, cyber attacks could happen. So just, make sure you're still preparing as best as you can. You don't have to go crazy and, move into like a cabin in the middle of the woods or something like that. But, escape from
Not yet.
and then like the Unabombers start mailing out packages to people. I'm not
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a big no.
But yeah, just keep preparing and be alert,
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Another one of my good friends here this evening is going live at 9 p.m. Rural 2IC. He does a workshop Wednesdays on Wednesday night. He's got open mic night tonight. So if you're free later and you really want to blow somebody's mind, Greg, he'll be sharing the link out for anybody to clink on. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Great guy, great channel. Great advice. He's an up and comer, and I wish nothing but the best for him. Great channel. Love his content. But yes, check out. Hang on 1 second. I lost it here. Oh, there it is. I just got to click on this and pin the message, and there it is, right there. The link for everybody to check out. It's pinned up top. Check out Rural 2IC 9 p.m. tonight. If Rural 2IC is not your flavor at 9 p.m., The Angry Fella is live at 9 as well. So if you're looking for some more YouTube TV action, there's a whole lot of good preparedness channels on this evening. And NY Prepper, I got a feeling he's going to have something to say here at some point in the next 24 hours. I feel it in my bones, bro. I feel it in my bones. So keep your ears out for NY Prepper. Make sure you're subscribed to my brother, Greg. Great guy, awesome friend of the channel. Honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for his support and his encouragement early on. Before I ever started this, he was the one who told me, you got to start a YouTube channel. You should do it. You should do it. And you kept telling me. You were like, you know what? I want you to do it so bad. Can I interview you? And my very first interview ever was done by NY Prepper himself. I
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right here in my yard. Good times, man. Good times.
Great times.
Good times. Great chatting with you again, Greg. I miss you, buddy. I wish you were still my neighbor down the road. The Shit Hit the Fan team is much weaker now that you are gone, and we're still depressed about it. We're not going to lie, but we still love you, buddy, and we're glad you're doing fantastic in your new place, and with everything. The channel is just blowing up, and hopefully YouTube takes their foot off the head of all these preparedness channels, man. We're just trying to help people out. So to YouTube, chill out, bro. Chill out. We're just trying to help, okay? Thank you all for being here and investing your most valuable resource with us, your time. Thank you. I appreciate it. Go safely. Have a happy Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, have a freaking awesome Thursday. How about that? And we appreciate y'all. So for myself and my good buddy, NY Prepper, I am going to roll that bean footage for you one more time. Oh, there it is. There it is. We got it this time, Greg.